Hey guys, so today I want to bring you another video. I'm going to try to make this one a lot shorter. I've already re-recorded, or I'm in the process of re-recording this because I already did it once and it was like 30 minutes. So I'm going to try to cut it down to like 15-20 minutes this time. I'm going to bring you the physical signs of the end times, the physical signs that are happening inside the earth. Also known in the Bible as the earth groaning for its redemption. And so I'm going to take you to this. This is an earthquake app that I use, and this is just earthquakes that have happened this week. So going down to the very bottom one down here is on the 15th, so 9/15. Okay, so and this is a lot of earthquakes to be happening. Look, you got a 6.5 there. You got a 6.9 here. You got the 7.6 in Mexico that happened the other day, and then another one this morning that happened to 6.8 within a week in Mexico. So and then this morning you have the 5.2 in Tonga. So this one, I believe both of these actually had tsunami warnings, the New Zealand and the Tonga, but I know for a fact that the Mexico one had tsunami warnings on it. This one, I believe the tsunami warnings are still active, the Tonga one, and the others have worn off by now, I believe. This is just another sign of the end times. It says in Matthew 24:7 that nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and pestilence or plagues and great earthquakes in various places. All of these are the beginning of birth pangs, meaning like a woman in labor, the contractions are going to get more intense and more frequent as we get closer to the end. So this is a lot of 5.0 and higher earthquakes to be happening. Now I want to take you over here to the stats. This is in a single day. This is today alone. We've had 109 or 111. It just went up just today. And then this week 782 and 4,470 this month. Now that's a lot of earthquakes. Now I think so I have this other earthquake watch site that I use that if you average everything out, it looks like around 350 earthquakes are happening per day around the world. So, and that includes all sizes. So that's like from even your smallest ones, 1.0 and up, or I think it's like 2 is like the smallest they record. But anyways, that's a lot of shaking to be going on. Now I'm going to take you to another site here that covers the natural disasters happening around the world. Well, actually not just natural disasters. It also covers plagues, like as far as diseases and stuff going on around the world. And it's not like super it doesn't like super thorough, because there's some things I know of that are going on in other places that aren't listed on here. Like for instance, in Alaska, there's a lot of storm flooding going on in Alaska and whatnot, but it covers a lot of info for you. So and they take it takes them a little bit to record things in here because they're covering so many things. And so, like for instance, like your Tonga earthquake, it might be covered by now, but it wasn't earlier when I recorded the first time. And so, anyways, but look at all these things happening around the world. I mean, this is crazy. Look at this. This is a tropical storm Newton, and then you've got Fiona right here. That here, if I scroll up, you'll be able to see that. Oops, zoom back out. So yeah, that's Fiona, and then you've got another tropical storm here, or a hurricane, or wait, no, this was Fiona. That was the path of Fiona, it looks like. And then tropical storm Gaston. Then you go down, you've got volcanoes. So, and also they have a color coordinates to them. So green, or so like the blue is going to be like one intensity, and then it goes to green, and then it goes to yellow, and then it goes to red. So just like your fire things, when you go into a forest, the gauge that says, you know, how what the potential of a fire is in that area at the time, how it goes from blue to red. That's exactly how this works. So the more you the darker into the, or the more red you get, the more intense it is. So like the red volcanoes are going to be like a full eruption where it's spewing lava and whatnot. There's also, you know, you've got Marburg going on in Ghana, you've got Ebola going on in the in Uganda and in the Congo. You've got record temperatures breaking in places here in Asia, where I saw that earlier. It has a thermostat on it somewhere. I don't know if I'm going to even try to cover that because it's just too much to cover at once. Anyways, and I'm trying to make this video that's shorter, but this is a good site to show you kind of like things that are going on around the globe, and you can see there's a ton of activity going on around the globe. And now these are your tsunami warnings right here. Oops, yeah, anyway, so that's your tsunami warning here for the Hawaiian Islands and whatnot. So anyways, I wanted to show you just kind of like the amount of things that are going on. Now, the floods are another really interesting thing, because now with the Bible talking about it being like birth pangs, it makes you wonder, with the quantity of floods that are going on, the amount of them plus the sheer force of the water, it almost makes you wonder, has the water broke? Has the water broke? Okay, because we're seeing the shaking of the earth getting more intense. Like each of the earthquakes are getting more powerful, and they're happening more frequently. So just like the tremors of contractions, they're getting more powerful and closer together. And so those like contractions of the earth are coming closer and faster, and the floods kind of prove the same thing. So there's tons and tons of floods. Pakistan just got completely annihilated by floods, and the footage of it is just really, really intense if you want to look that up. Now, the Bible talks about in Romans 8, 22 and 23, how the earth will be groaning for its redemption. And so, I'm going to read you from 21 to 23. It says, because the creation itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our bodies. So that's talking about the rapture of the church, where the redemption of our bodies will happen. But it talks about how the earth is going to be groaning in pain in the end. And so that's what we're seeing all over the earth. We're seeing masses of famines and pestilences and earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and everything like that. So earthquakes are mentioned a bunch in the end times, and I'll show you some of those verses in Revelation here of some coming earthquakes. One of the things I wanted to show you is in Revelation, let's see, what is it? Revelation 16:8. Or no, sorry, it's a Revelation 11:13. Revelation 11:13 talks about an earthquake that will wipe out 7,000 people. It's very specific. It says 7,000 people will die from this earthquake in Israel. So I'm going to show you that. So Revelation 11:13, it says, and in that hour there was a great earthquake, and a tenth of the city fell and was destroyed. 7,000 people were killed in the earthquake, and the rest were overcome with terror, and they glorified the Lord God of heaven, whatever. Anyway, sorry. The parentheses always mess me up in this amplified version. Anyway, so they glorified God in heaven. So this speaks directly to how many people will die in this earthquake. 7,000. Now, the interesting thing here is if you go to here, in 2013, there was an article done by The Guardian, and it had been done through a study right here in 2013. It said Friday 25th, October 25th, 2013. Let me exit out of this real quick. Okay. In 2013, Israel earthquake could kill 7,000 disaster forecast claims. Isn't it kind of interesting that they forecast 7,000 people could die in an earthquake? It says an estimated 7,000 people could be killed, tens of thousands injured, and a further 200,000 left homeless if a powerful earthquake struck Israel. A government minister has warned following 6 separate tremors over the past week. So that is very biblical, that article. So while I'm in here, I'm going to show you this website, geoengineeringwatch.org. Now, this is a website that is ran by a guy named Dane Wigington. He has a YouTube channel and puts out one broadcast a week that's about an hour long. And he tells you about all of the different geoengineering things that are going on, which is government manipulated weather events and stuff like that. And so, believe it or not, government is fully capable of manipulating the weather. Now, this, I would highly recommend going through some of his website and looking at some of these things. He did a documentary right here called The Dimming, and I highly recommend watching that. He also put out a video on his YouTube channel about a couple weeks ago where it talked about where he went through a document that was declassified from the government, and it was a military document from 1970 where it talks about how to incinerate forests at a faster rate and have the forest fires burn hotter and create firestorms that couldn't be put out. So you wonder why the forests are burning in such an intense way? That's probably why. Anyways, so next I want to take you to this video here that everyone is trying, or the governments are trying to tell you that this is all man-made. We are manipulated, or that our carbon emissions are what is making the planet climate change. But the planet has been, or the climate in the planet has been changing for millennia. The Earth, if you study it, goes through cycles, and these cycles are manipulated by the positions of the moon, the position of the Earth in reference to the moon and to the sun, and what the sun is doing, and blah blah blah. So there's lots of different things that go into it, but our carbon emission is not one of them. And this is kind of an interesting video here that I'm going to play for you, where RT is interviewing an astrophysicist about the climate, and the funny thing is there's actually a ton of scientists that have the same view as this guy, and they're just silenced. Anytime they put their opinion out there, they're completely silenced. So watch this; it's pretty interesting.
Russia's deadly wildfires, the smog-filled cities and poor harvest are being seen by some environmentalists as signs of climate change. Let's now cross live to London to discuss this with Piers Corbyn. He's an astrophysicist and also founder of Weather Action. Good to have you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us live there in London. So what we're seeing here is a drastic change in climate, aren't we?
Well, climate has always been changing, but this has nothing to do with man. In fact, we predicted that there would be extreme heat in East Europe and Russia this summer. And it's caused by a certain circulation pattern. CO2 does not cause circulation patterns. What causes those is a combination of solar activity and the state of the phases of the moon.
But hang on, Piers.
And in fact,
excuse me, just a minute. You say this isn't caused by man. How come they're reporting this heat wave is recognised as the worst in 1,000 years of recorded history in Russia? And surely man has got something to do with this, hasn't he?
No. Nothing to do with it. The only connection is man is here at the same time as the sun and the moon are doing things. You see, a very similar situation happened about 132 years ago, where there was the same sun, earth, lunar, magnetic states. There was heat waves in Russia, and there were also floods in Pakistan as now. And in the previous few years, there was also floods in the English summers, also 132 years ago. So these things are dictated by solar activity in the moon. They're nothing to do with mankind, and those who say that are just trying to make money out of carbon.
But are we not going to see this? Are we not going to see this again next year, the year on? I mean, it's quite recent that.
That's a very interesting question. These things do come in bursts, and we're working on that very question, those forecasts. We did say there would be a series of wet summers in England, for example, which we've had. Now, will there be a series of these very hot summers in Russia? We don't know. We have to work on that. But I assure you, it's nothing to do with carbon dioxide. And if you stop driving around Moscow, it won't affect next summer one jot.
Well, how come then so many climate change scientists disagree with you, and they get so much support for what they say?
They're on a gravy train, for heaven's sake.
So, that
you're against
that they he says exactly what I'm talking about, where it's the government is paying these scientists to say a certain narrative. So in the Bible it talks about how we were made to subdue the earth, and I'm going to show you that here in Genesis 1:26. So in Genesis 1:26 it says, "Then God said, 'Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have complete authority over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, the cattle, and over the entire earth, and over everything that creeps and crawls on the earth.'" And then you come down to 28 here, and it says, "And God blessed them and said to them, 'Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subjugate it,'" meaning to subdue the earth, and rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and every living thing that moves on the earth. So when he says to subdue the earth, he means take everything that I've created in creation to and utilize it to the benefit of mankind. Now, should we destroy the earth like negligently? No, of course not. But it does talk about how we are supposed to utilize what's in the earth to our benefit, including all the natural resources, natural gas, oil, all the different fuels that we use, all of the different metals we use, all of the different rocks that we use. So right here, I'm going to do a video here in the next, say, day or so, where on this subject. So God created man in his own image. In the image and likeness of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So I'm going to do that one here coming up here soon. But anyways, so I want to take you to Revelation and show you some of these future earthquakes. So some of these future ones that are mentioned in the end times, I'm going to try to make this quick here. It says the sixth seal. So this is, if you don't know, there's 28 judgments in the tribulation. There's 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 thunders, and then 7 bowls. The 7 thunders most people don't even know about because they miss it, because John doesn't write about it, because he's told to seal that up and not talk about it. Anyways, but look up 7 thunders. Anyway, so it says here in the 6th seal, terror. I looked when the Lamb broke open the 6th seal, and there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth and made of hair, and the whole moon became like blood. Okay, then in Revelation 8:5, so the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire from the altar and hurled it to the earth, and there were peals of thunder and loud rumblings and sounds of and flashes of lightning and an earthquake. Revelation 11:13. This is the one where it kills 7,000. I've already read it, so I'm not going to do it again. Revelation 11:19. And the temple of God which is in heaven was opened, and the ark of the covenant appeared in his temple, and there were flashes of lightning and loud rumblings and peals of thunder and an earthquake and a great hailstorm. And then this one I want to cover right here. This is the final earthquake, which will destroy most of the earth. It says in Revelation 16:8, and there were flashes of lightning and loud rumblings and peals of thunder, and there was a massive earthquake. Nothing like it has ever occurred since mankind originated on the earth. So severe and far-reaching was that earthquake. I want to go to it because it goes further. It says the great city was split into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and God kept in mind the Babylon the Great to give her the cup of the wine of his fierce and furious wrath. Then every island fled away, and no mountains could be found. And giant hailstones, as heavy as a talent, which is 100 pounds, talent is 100 pounds, fell from the sky on the people. And the people reviled and spoke abusively of God for the plague of the hail, because the plague was so very great. So that's a bunch of the future earthquakes that that people in the tribulation will have to look forward to. And then one more thing I want to show you in Revelation 11, Revelation 11:18. I want to show you where the right here, Revelation 11:18, it talks about the people who destroy the earth. And this isn't talking about people who are putting out carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a fertilizer. It makes the earth greener. Anyone who took science class prior to woke schooling knows that CO2 makes the earth greener. It's the fertilizer for the trees. The trees and plants take it in, and then they produce oxygen. Okay, so the more CO2, the greener the earth. So the CO2 narrative is a false narrative. So Revelation 11:18 says, and the nations became enraged in your wrath, speaking of God, and indignation came, and the time came for the dead to be judged, and to reward your bondservants, the prophets, and the saints, and those who fear your name, the small and the great, and to destroy the destroyers of the earth. Now, if you go through the site geoengineeringwatch.org, the elitists are intentionally trying to destroy the earth. They are doing insane things, and believe it or not, I don't care, it's up to you, but the elitists are the ones destroying this earth. They are doing everything in their power to make sure that this earth crumbles, and just so that they can create their narrative of climate change to cost us trillions of dollars, and to create more of a power grab on the people. Lastly, I want to show you this in 2 Peter 3. We know that God is going to be the one to destroy this earth in the end. So it says in 2 Peter 3, but the day of the Lord will come like a thief, and then the heavens will vanish with a mighty roar, and the elements will be destroyed with intense heat, and the earth and the works that are in it will be burned up. And the King James says with a fervent heat. So that means God will destroy this planet in the end, and bring an everlasting planet, an everlasting kingdom in the New Jerusalem. But with all the chemicals they're spraying in the skies and everything else, I mean, they're just intentionally trying to destroy this thing. Now, the whole point of this channel is to get people to Jesus, and so if you don't know, if you're not saved, I implore you to do so today. And it's as simple as ABC. First, accept that you are a sinner, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. That's Romans 3:10. And Revelation 3:23 says that there is no one righteous, not even one. Actually, I think it's the reverse of that. But anyways, nonetheless. And then B is for believe in your heart that Jesus came to this earth, died on the cross for your sins and mine, and he was buried, and God the Father rose him from the grave on the third day. And if you believe that in your heart and confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, you will be saved and sealed to the day of redemption, it says in Ephesians 2. So I hope you guys found this encouraging and informative, and I will see you the next time.